Welcome everybody. This is the game according to me. I am AJ Tripp. There was not an edition last week. I had some things come up, so I apologize for not having one on last week. There is one this week, and we are going to try to go through everything, every sport. Talk about some of the big things going on in those sports, if there are any at all. And maybe talk a little bit about WrestleMania. Only got 15 minutes, so let's start very quickly here. The NCAA tournament has been very exciting. We had a couple upsets throughout these first three rounds. Now that we're in the Sweet 16, I think we can see some more upsets. So I won last night with Xavier. So for a couple more, I do brackets, but I don't particularly care about the brackets. I do like the upsets. I do like to see the underdogs make it far. I was a big fan of George Mason when they went far. A couple years ago when Florida Gulf Coast went far, I was a big fan of that as well. So I think that as long as we keep on doing it, as long as I keep on doing brackets, I will continue to do my brackets, but when watch games, root for the underdogs. I know that's like contradicting myself, but I don't care. I'm not doing anything for money or anything like that, so it's all well and good. To the NBA game, the big thing in the NBA is the resting of players, and I think, and Adam Silver came out talking about we are going to look at it and talk about it with the owners during their owners meetings, and I think they should, because I think on one hand, while I think maybe resting players can be helpful, I don't think that you should rest your players when you're going on the road to another conference team. Like for instance, if you're like early in the season, Cleveland went to Memphis, and they sat everybody, so Memphis didn't get to see LeBron and Love and Kyrie Irving. So it's not the way it should be. And I think also national television games, you got to stop doing that as well, because that's part of the broadcast partners. So they've already said that they're going to do something about the schedule next year, but really they do need to do something where, one, you're not resting teams when you go to the other conference on the road. That's one. And I think two, not resting them on national televised games. Now, obviously, the NBA can do something to help that out with the scheduling, but you've got to find some compromise, and I think they can. They seem to work very well with the Players Association, unlike the NFL. So I think they can come up with something and find a way to that there's a happy medium for everybody. Speaking of the NFL, again, nothing big going on in the free agency. It always seems to happen that way. You get like the first 4 or 5 days, you get like some big things going on in free agency. Nothing so far. Still Adrian Peterson is still out there. Jamal Charles is still out there. It's very funny how that really had Minnesota sign Latavius Murray from Oakland and just said bye-bye to Adrian Peterson. So it is amazing the way the running back position has been devaluated in this league, and I'm one way I'm shocked, but another way I'm not shocked, because it is about the passing game. The passing game makes it more exciting. You pass the score, you put the points on the board, and then once you get the lead, you run it. You run it in the fourth quarter, and I think that's the way you should do it. And so the fact that Adrian Peterson hasn't signed is still very shocking to me. So let's go to Major League Baseball. Major League Baseball is getting ready to start. We're probably about 10 days away or something like that, maybe even more, a couple weeks away maybe, from the start of the Major League Baseball season. And as a Cubs fan, I am kind of looking forward to it. You know, here's the thing with me in baseball. I'm not the biggest. I wasn't a baseball fan at all. I became a baseball fan because of Sammy Sosa, the 1998 home run chase. So that means I automatically became a Cub fan. So and for a while there, while Sammy was, you know, with the Cubs, I was a big time Cub fan, and I would say big time baseball fan as well. So I would always, you know, I would be watching baseball games that didn't involve the Cubs. So, you know, I was a really big fan. But once Sammy was traded to Baltimore, they did that whole thing in '04, and then they had all the things where with the '06 and '07 Cubs, and '07 '08 Cubs, whatever it was, when they got swept off. I mean, they had that great start, and you know, they had like the 8 All-Stars that year, and Kosuke Fukudome, you know, everything, and then they just dripped down the pants leg, and my love for baseball has kind of waned, and don't get me wrong, I still like Cubs. Listen, the Cubs, they sucked for a long time, so, and a couple years ago, they got back into it, and so means I get back into it. So it's been very fun to watch them get back into this and kind of rekindle my love for not only them but for baseball. But having said that, to me, baseball will always be the caveat that takes us from the NBA Finals to the NFL preseason. That's what it's always for. Now, maybe that could be because the baseball season is way too long, you know, something like that. Maybe that's one reason why I feel like that. But I will always, even though I will be engaged and I will watch games and things like that, I really won't be down for baseball until the last game of the NBA Finals, and then I won't come back to baseball until it's time for the playoffs. Especially the Cubs should be making it. But then once July 20th comes, it's baseball time. And that's it. So it will always be like that for me. And that's just the way I am. And, but I am very excited to see how this season will go, how this season will start, and definitely how they're going to do. See, you know, I hear the thing about baseball as well. All this new age stuff for me, is stupid. You know, they're talking about leading off the game with Kyle Schwarber. And that to me is stupid. It really is. He's a guy that can hit 40, 50 home runs. And you want him to lead off? It's stupid. God, that's stupid. I can understand in the American League if you want to bet Mike Trout second because there's no pitcher. So after the ninth hitter, you know, the ninth hitter can still be a pretty good hitter. You know, whatever. So you still have people on base. But in the National League, there's no reason that your best hitter should be hitting second. There's no way that one of your best power hitters should be hitting first. The lineup should be, this is how the lineup should be. The lineup should be Jason Hayward leading off. It should be Addison Russell hitting second. Chris Bryant hitting third. Anthony Rizzo hitting fourth. Kyle Schwarber hitting fifth. What's the catcher's name now? I forget. God damn, this scares me. I'm 35. I should not be forgetting things like this. Well, whoever our catcher is, he hits 6. He hits 6. Javier Baez hits 7th. The center fielder switched off between John Jay and Amaro Jr. hits 8th. The pitcher hits 9th. That's how it should be. That's how. Any other lineup is stupid. But all these new metrics and all this other bullshit just makes it stupid. And it takes away the love of the game, really. That's one reason. Another reason why the love of my game is because it's falling into this metrics stuff, and it's just a bunch of phooey. Okay, so we talked about the NFL, Major League Baseball. Who cares? Nobody cares about hockey, so I'm not going to talk about hockey. So for these last 4 minutes, let's talk about WrestleMania. We're a couple weeks away from WrestleMania. The card is turning out. This could be very interesting. I think we get we really only have one match, I think, that could steal the show. And that's really the triple threat tag match. All the matches I think are going to be good, and I think they're going to be entertaining if they've obviously done right. But I only see and Chris Jericho and Kevin Owens could steal the show as well, but I'm not expecting them to do so. I'm expecting the triple threat tag match on Raw to steal the show. Excuse me. And that match is Luke Gallows and Carl Anderson going against Cesaro and Sheamus and Enzo and Cass. What I hope doesn't happen is that I hope they don't put the titles on Enzo and Cass. You know, it's time for them to go break up. You know, it's time for Enzo to cost Cass way too many titles, and time for him to turn on Enzo, or even vice versa. I think Enzo's probably a better heel anyway. He's so annoying. When you hate him. So he's probably a better heel. So maybe have Enzo turn on Cass and have Big Cass be the face, and then maybe have Enzo find like another big guy from NXT to come up and be his heavy, against Big Cass or something. But just gotta get Enzo, gotta do something about that. That's just, it's god awful sickening. Really is. I think Big Cass could be a big player in WWE. Speaking of that, everybody go to their YouTube page and check out the video of the 6'5" MMA kickboxer that's been training with them, looking to get into WWE. I'm telling you, I think she's Russian. She's an accent or something like that. But I'm telling you, if she makes it and stays in it, she is gonna skyrocket up through NXT and up through WWE. I mean, that's gonna be nothing, because she is one bad thing. I can see her being, the big bad to Bailey's big good, or I can see her being the girl, the only girl that can really take down Nia Jax. So I mean, this is going to be that she was something serious. Also, want to give a shout out to What Culture Wrestling. Also, check them out on YouTube. They have been doing this past month. They have been doing the 10 things you didn't know about WrestleMania and so on. It started at WrestleMania 1. I think today they've done WrestleMania 23. That's Battle of the Billionaires. Of course, now our President Trump and Vince McMahon. So, I mean, shout out to them. I'll actually go to them and see them on YouTube. Also, check out Wrestling with Regret with Brian Zane. He does a great job there, too. I'm telling you, those two sites are good. That's why I go on YouTube to get my wrestling stuff. So I think you guys should, too. That's going to end it for me today, this Friday evening. I want to thank y'all for listening. Make sure you check out my YouTube channel, A20. I will see you guys next week. I'm out.